welcome to Sky TV's interview, Prime Minister. It's really nice to have you here. I'm Sophia.
It's nice to be here, Sophia. Thank you.
So what do you think about the latest poll?
Well, under MMP, every election is tight, and this one is always going to be hard for the National Party to win, because we have to get such a big vote to be able to form a good government for New Zealand. Now, the latest polls tell us that our support is pretty good, but it's not enough, and we have to work hard to lift it.
Yes, on these numbers, the National would not quite be able to form a government. So will you consider working with Mr. Peters?
We prefer to work with the parties we work with now, ACT, United and the Māori Party. We've been able to make good decisions, even though we've disagreed on quite a lot of issues. We've been able to provide a predictable government that has supported the economy. Now, we see in other countries where governments don't operate very well, that it becomes a major distraction. So we prefer to work with these parties. However, on September the 23rd, the voters will have their say, and if they vote in a way that means we have to work with others, then we're willing to do that.
So Andrew Little has resigned as Labour leader. Were you surprised by his resignation?
I was surprised, but the big problem for him and now for Ms Ardern is that the Labour Party has been so negative about New Zealand's success and New Zealand's prospects. They're still a big spending party, regurgitating or recycling ideas from the past that didn't work then and won't work now. So we've yet to see where the Ms Ardern can make any difference. We see the Labour and the Greens and New Zealand First fighting among themselves. We're focusing on getting our support up.
So what does this change mean to National?
It doesn't change our plan. We've got good public support, but we need more. And we need to focus on what we can do more to strengthen the economy and provide more opportunities and better incomes.
But some people are saying that Jacinda can reconnect with young people and women who have drifted away from Labour Party since Alca's time. She may bring more votes to Labour. Aren't you concerned about it?
She may be able to do that. We won't really know till election day. We've found that voters, a lot of those voters, women, younger voters, want to see economic success for themselves so that they can get better incomes, afford to have the lifestyle they're interested in. They want to see high standard for the environment. They want opportunities for their children, and we'll be campaigning to get their vote as well.
So National has been holding the power for 9 years, and there are words saying that if a party in power for quite a long time, it would tend to be acting on behalf of the interests of the specific social class. Therefore, some people are calling for a change. Are you worried about this opinion?
The government has done a good job of spreading the benefits of growth across the community. So we haven't governed just for one group of people. We've just, for instance, agreed a very substantial pay rise for 50,000 low-income, low-paid women who work in our community care and rest homes. We've just announced a family incomes package that gives everyone a small tax cut, but families with really high housing costs, that is the poorest families in New Zealand, will get quite a lot of extra assistance, up to $100 a week. So we've governed in the interests of everybody, and that's certainly how we would continue after the election.
So, Prime Minister, in your opinion, what social fare actually is?
Well, welfare is there to help people who need it for as long as they really need it. And for some, that's a short time because they can get a job quite quickly. For others, it takes a bit longer, solo parents with children. Although we have given a lot of support to that group, so we've got the lowest number of sole parents we've had for 30 or 40 years in New Zealand on a benefit. And then there's others who are on it for 10, 15, 20 years, and those people also need more support. We're giving them more support because a lot of them would like to work, but they need a bit of help to become more able to get jobs.
So do you have the confidence to win a fourth term in government?
Oh, we do. We have the competence, we have the confidence that we've got the policies for New Zealand, but we know we have to earn that support because we don't take it for granted at all. Voters want to see not so much what you've done in the past, although that means we do have a lot of experience, but how that's going to work for them looking out ahead. And so we're looking well into the 2020s with our infrastructure investment, our plans for lifting family incomes and improving the government services that every New Zealander depends on at some stage of their life.
Now, me personally, would you like to open a bottle of champagne?
Well, not yet, but after the election, perhaps I would do that.
Well, last week, the government announced to lower the threshold for temporary work visas. Then will the government consider reducing the requirements of the skilled migrant visa as well?
We've made some changes to the criteria for the skilled work visas, and we put out proposals. We got a lot of submissions, a lot of comment on those proposals, and now we finalise them. And we intend to leave them alone because I think certainty is important. It's hard for families and communities if the rules keep changing. So we've had a period of uncertainty, now we've finalised the policy.
But New Zealand is a country deeply relying on migrants. Aren't you worried that the cut of immigrants may also kill the GDP growth?
We haven't set out to reduce the numbers. I mean, the numbers coming in are driven by the fact that New Zealand's become such a desirable place to live. It's also driven by fewer Kiwis leaving. More Kiwis have stayed at home over the last 5 years, about 150,000, and that's been the biggest single change in our population, is just Kiwis not going off to Australia and the UK. So we want to get the people in that we need to build the houses, build the roads, look after the tourists, make sure our horticulture industry can thrive. And if that needs that needs the numbers coming in that we have now, then we're happy with that.
So to be clearly, Prime Minister, you won't cut the number of immigrants, right?
We haven't set out to cut the numbers because the numbers are driven by the success of the economy. We have to build the houses, so if we need more people to help us do that, then we're happy with that.
So the Chinese community is also quite concerned about the safety issue. Is increasing the police force the best way to solve this problem?
It's certainly part of it, but it's also important the way the police work. So, for instance, recently they've been working closely with shop owners who've been affected by this spate of aggravated robberies, and as a result of the police work, the number of robberies has gone down quite significantly. The police are also more efficient. They've got mobile technology that allows them to do all their administration while they're out on the street, so they can be more visible and spend more time on the street and less time in the police station. And our communities, I think, are better now at protecting themselves. They make sure their houses are safe, their doors are locked, and that they take precautions that keep them safe. Now, we want people to feel safe. Safer communities is really important to the government and to the police.
Prime Minister, so what kind of country do we want to be on the world stage?
Oh, we want to be a proud and confident country, and I think New Zealand is increasingly credible on the world stage because of our economic success and because of our political stability. We can build on that to provide so many more opportunities for New Zealanders who want to get ahead over the next 5 or 10 years.
When Belt and Road Forum was held in Beijing, China pushed back on the statement announced by Japan and New Zealand on South China Sea. With all due respect to Prime Minister, but I have to ask, was the government aware that this move might affect the relationship with China?
Well, we have relationships with countries right across the region, including Japan, and so we are sufficiently independent from China that we can fashion our own statement with Japan in the context of our relationship. Whether China's completely happy with it is really a matter for their policy, but we conduct our own sets of relationships, and we're happy with the relationship and the statement that we made with Japan.
Thank you, Prime Minister. So at the end of this interview, would you like to take this opportunity to say something to the Chinese community? This way, please.
This is a very big year for SkyQ as well, because this is a 16th anniversary for our website.
Yes.
And we will celebrating our anniversary in this month. So in this 16 years, we have over 200,000 registered members of New Zealand local Chinese.
Ni hao. It's great to be part of the news on the Sky Kiwi website and to know that so many people go to it to get their news. Of course, with an election coming up, there is going to be a lot of political news. Make sure you get out and vote come election day on September the 23rd. If you've got a strong opinion about where you want New Zealand to go, make sure you turn up, vote national, but make sure you vote.